I'm speechless, guys. Seriously. Because SmackDown has literally been bringing it night after night. There are some times that they're a little bit slow, but they really did an amazing job making this feel like not only a Survivor Series go home show, they also made it feel like the 900th episode. They were able to blend the two and blend the two so well to where they just didn't seem off. And that's the one thing I respect about SmackDown Live. Not only do they know how to make a decent build when it comes to their feuds, they also know how to blend things together. They blend the 900th episode in with the go home show for Survivor Series. I thought it was great. I really thought it was really, really good. With the Undertaker and Edge making their appearances, it really showed how hardcore, well, not really how hardcore, but it really shows how special this episode was. Despite the fact it was a go home show to Survivor Series, it actually did feel like a 900 episode. It felt big. It felt like a big deal. I love that. We end up seeing King Booker. We haven't seen King Booker in years, or King Booker, or however. We haven't really seen him in a very long time, and it was really refreshing to see him again. Even though I'm not a big fan of Booker T, I'm not gonna lie, I love the King Booker gimmick. It was great. I really wish that Queen Charmel was there, but she wasn't. So I'm like, eh. But other than that, it was still great. It really, really was great. They made this feel so big. I enjoyed every part of it. And with the whole Survivor Series thing, it wasn't so much overdone like Raw did. But then I know Raw got that third hour, and they gotta do something with that third hour. But it just seemed like that everything was shoehorned and just shoved in your face. And that's not what I really enjoyed about Raw. Don't get me wrong, they did an amazing job making it feel like Survivor Series is a big deal with brands. Ish. But other than that, I will say SmackDown did a far better job. They did. They were able to blend their night on the show with Survivor Series go home show. They were able to do that. And with the matches themselves, the IC match, oh my gosh, was the icing on the cake for this 900 episode for me. It was an amazing performance between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. They gave it their all. They made the IC belt seem like it's important. They did everything they could to make that match legit, and they did. And what made it even more special is that it changed hands. It went back to The Miz. The Miz is now at Survivor Series going up against Sami Zayn. And whoever wins is going to take the belt to their brand. Not only did they make that match feel important, they also make the stakes feel important even after The Miz wins. The Miz is going to have all that pressure on his shoulders to keep the IC title. That is what you're supposed to do. That is how you make your belt important, as well as making your brand important as well. And they did an amazing job with that. I loved it. But my favorite part of the night definitely was the women's match. Not so much with Carmella and Nikki. Because honestly, I've already had my own personal opinions towards Carmella, as well as a few with Nikki Bella and how worthless it is. Well, not really so much for Nikki, but mostly for Carmella. But I've already talked about that far too much. But I will say this: the fact that you had Nikki Bella literally going after Charlotte when Charlotte came out of nowhere, sitting in the front row, pulled her over the barricade, beat the crap out of her, and then you had people beating the crap out of Nikki. And then you had Bayley beating the crap out of Nikki. Well, it was a bit off-putting. It was a bit off-putting. Since she's pretty much the whole golden baby face, you know, it's kind of weird actually seeing her beat the crap out of anybody in malice. It's just weird. But other than that, it was interesting to actually see that happen. Just a freaking brawl for all. You had all the SmackDown chicks come down, and then you had all the Raw chicks come down, beat the crap out of each other. But there's one person that's completely out of place. Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke isn't on the freaking team. Unless they decide to pull a James Ellsworth and make her the mascot, which is a huge insult. I guess they had to get her in where they fit in. But other than that, something tells me it's going to be shenanigans at Survivor Series, which means that the Raw women are going to win. I kind of knew that anyway because they had far dominant women on that team anyway. I'm just gonna be real. You guys already seen my prediction, so you pretty much know where I stand when it comes to that. Well, other than that, I enjoyed the SmackDown so much. But there's only one thing that I know I'm the odd woman out, and it's Taker's return. I'm sorry. After witnessing Taker at WrestleMania 27, That was the beginning of the freaking end for that man's body. He has gone through a lot. Every match since then, they had to dumb it down for him. The matches have been extraordinarily slow. They have been like real steady pace to where you had to have a good opponent to hold the match. And let's be honest, Brock Lesnar in that Hell in a Cell match with him versus Taker, it was Brock that actually had that pretty much carried the match for a good portion of time. But then you also had Taker that carried it, had a great offense, and he was dominant throughout maybe the beginning towards the middle of the fight, and then Brock Lesnar took over. But other than that, if he doesn't have a strong offense, and okay, let me just use this in video game terms. If anybody has played with Akuma, you know that Akuma is pretty much one of the most strongest players in Street Fighter, in the Street Fighter games. In my opinion, he's one of the strongest fighters to ever fight with. But good grief, if somehow you don't know how to have defense when it comes to him, you'll be down maybe within like in a minute. Like seriously, you can get hit and then that's it when it comes to Akuma. Not his endurance, but his stamina is ridiculous. But other than that, when it comes to him, and well, I guess in comparison, when it comes to Taker has to have good offense starting off in the match to make the match look realistic. But let's be honest, if it was even, Taker would be down maybe within a few seconds. I'm being honest here. I don't think that Taker has a lot of fight in him yet. I mean, not yet, but I don't think he has a lot of fight in him at all. The same thing with Triple H. It's great to see them come out. It's great to see his walk down the ramp with all the smoke and the stuff. It's great. His interest does not get old. But his body does. I mean, come on. There's only so many matches you can throw out. Seriously. When it came to Hell in a Cell, it was a spectacle because Shane McMahon was involved and we haven't seen him in so long, which made the match really special. And also the stipulation at the time made it very special. But let's be honest. The entire mystique the enigma that was Undertaker is gone. There's really no, oh my gosh, it's that vibe is gone. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, even with seeing him live, I'm like, dude, why are you doing this to yourself? But other than that, it was special for a lot of people that came out who was there live, and it was also special for those that were watching at home and see Undertaker out in like 3 years since he's been on SmackDown. But on the real, I don't want to see Taker versus Shane. I don't want to see Taker versus anybody at WrestleMania. The one thing that made me happy that came out of Taker's mouth was that WrestleMania will no longer hold him down. Thank God! Because I am tired of seeing a Taker match every single freaking year for WrestleMania. I know it's like, well, you should be happy because you went. Yes, I went. And I'm blessed that I went. But I'm tired of seeing a Taker match at every single WrestleMania. They need to start with something different. They need to push the future. Because the past, the people who have been there since the very beginning are starting to leave. Taker's going to be one of them. Sooner or later. And I know that when you get old, it's hard to get out the game. I mean, shoot, look at Ric Flair. Ric Flair actually had one of the best retirement matches that I have seen in a very long time with him versus Shawn Michaels. And man, he messed that up when he went to TNA. Just saying. But I know that if you've been in a sport for so long and you love that sport, it's hard to leave. I get that. But when it comes to Taker, he doesn't have a lot of fight in him, and thank God he's not held back to being at WrestleMania. I want something different. I don't want to see him WrestleMania every single year. And I know that that's the reason why people fly in to see him. But it has to be some kind of a change. And I feel like it is going to be after that statement was made. The fact that he made a threat to the entire SmackDown, group, oh, if you lose, then it's going to be hell to pay. Yeah, right, dude. Please. I know that you're good, but you're not that good. Let's be honest here. But other than that, I know it sounds like I'm throwing tons of shade at Taker, but I'm just being real here. Taker does not have as much fight as people believe he does. Taker is on his way out. The same thing with Triple H, hence why we have not seen him, because the guy cannot go. He can't go like he used to, neither can Taker. Taker knows how to find somebody that will make the match look good with him in it, but he does not hold his own anymore, just like how Sting can't hold his own. It's how it is. It's with all the damage that streak has done. It's aging. But other than that, I don't want to make it seem like I am harping on Taker, because Taker is an amazing, amazing performer. He is a phenom. He deserves every ounce of respect he can get, because that guy has earned it. But I'm so happy I do not have to see him at another WrestleMania, because it shouldn't be held back. Now that the streak is gone, he's free to do whatever he wants. But in my humble opinion, he can't really hold a match, and I'm kind of tired of seeing him on a Big Four pay-per-view with somebody else controlling the match. Or having him have offense for like almost 10 minutes, and then somebody comes in and beats the crap out of him. Other than that, that's just what I'm getting. That's how I'm feeling when it comes to this whole thing. But let me back off of my high horse when it comes to that. The one thing I am going to say about the SmackDown, and here's my overall view of this SmackDown tonight. They made not only Survivor Series seem important, as well as their belts important, they made the entire episode, not only the episode, the entire brand feel important with the 900 episode, with it being the 900th episode. They made it really important, not only with that, but also with Survivor Series. That's an amazing job. That's a phenomenal job. You're able to have matches that are germane to the pay-per-view. You're able to make you're able to make your go-home show feel like a go-home show, as well as making it feel like the 900th episode. Way to go, SmackDown. Regardless of how I feel about Taker being there, it does not take away the fact that SmackDown was an amazing show. I had a great time watching it. They did a great job promoting the pay-per-view, as well as making it feel like the 900th episode. That's my view, guys. What is yours? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm out. Peace.